Good afternoon. So I'm making a video after a very long time. The reason being my father, who's 87, and my mother, who's 81 and a half, they both were hospitalized in Mumbai at a very reputed hospital for severe chest congestion, viral, and the main reason was my father. He had a kind of a drop in his sodium level because of the severe chest congestion, and he was running fever, and they were staying alone, and he had a fall, and to save him my mother went down and she took the burden on herself, his entire body weight, which kind of caused a lot of pain in her back on the left. And by the time I reached Mumbai, when we had called the ambulance and they both were taken to the hospital in the ER, my mother was totally completely out of breath, and finally she had to be intubated. That was, she had to be put on a ventilator. And my father was also admitted in the ICU, my mother also. But here I'm making this video regarding a couple of things that I would like to share. First is that thanks to Clint Ober, really, he's like God's gift, you know. He had sent a small gift for me last year in April 2022, the Earthing Elite kit, the kit in which we had a sleep mat, a pillow cover, the uni mat, and the rod. And I made many videos after that. And my parents have since then been earthing quite a bit, barring around 4 months last year where the house was under renovation, and that's when actually their health did drop down, but they did recover again. And recently the condition in which they were, especially the condition in which my mother was, where she had to be intubated, I suggested by the time I reached Mumbai from Pune, it was a 4.5 hour drive, I requested my neighbor to put the patches, the ground patches on her K1 point, and I told my mom to remove the Elite pillow cover from her bedside and put it directly on the chest, and her palms touching that, so that she was earthed maximum. And I requested my neighbor to again put 2 patches on my father's chest and also on his K1 point on the feet, so that by the time I reach, I know that the body will not get into a collateral damage. And that's what actually happened. When they both were in the ambulance, my mother went totally, completely out of breath. She had to be intubated. When they waited, they tried to get her into a normal breathing, but she wasn't, with all the emergency treatment that was supposed to be given. Excellent treatment which was given there. But her heart had collapsed and it was only functioning 15%. It was very traumatic, and finally in the ICU, when the cardiologist saw, he said that a chest congestion, a viral, should not lead to this heart condition. Though she had arrhythmic heartbeats, she is a patient of hypertension, but past 1 year her high blood pressure medicines have reduced considerably. She's been off blood thinners. My father has been off blood thinners since the time he's been earthing. So these were all the changes that took place, and his fluctuation of his BP also took place because like a detox, but we had kept the physician in picture. And finally the dosage of also his blood pressure medicine had reduced. That was in the month of May 2023. So coming to the hospital recently, which was on 14th of September, and they got discharged on 27th of September. Till they were in the ICU, I couldn't do anything. But once they were brought into the room, I fortunately could manage to keep both of them in the same room, a twin sharing room. I brought my, from earthing.com, the white safety adapter, the 2 black cords, and in fact I bought 4 sets of them, 4 pairs. So 2 I put on the K1 point and 2 I put on their chest. You can say for practically 5 to 6 days they were continuously earthed. And every time a nurse used to enter, they were all intrigued by what is this that I'm doing, and even the junior doctors. And finally the head nurse came and asked me what it was. I explained to her what this earthing is. And here I just wanted to share is that then they said that you have to give a written statement, that you're using this, and the patient's life is and risk, whatever happens, you're responsible. I said yes. They said, please explain what this earthing thing is. So I gave a written statement, a full statement of what is earthing. I gave the links to earthinginstitute.net, then about earthing.com, from where these products are, and a kind of thing that this is absolutely safe. I had carried my fault line tester for the Indian voltage and checked whether it is a red and green light, and it was absolutely clear. And that's when the doctors asked that, will not the static electricity get inside the body? I said no. I showed them that I switched it off. So everything, I'll put the photographs later on. But I want to share that it was an experience that I stood my ground, because I knew one thing, and I had just heard 2 days back prior to 14 September when Clint Ober, in one of his podcasts, he was sharing that what earthing does, it prevents the body to go into a collateral damage. And that's what it did. It did not, it prevented my parents' body to go in a collateral damage. It enhanced the treatment. All the doctors in the ICU was like totally stunned and shocked with the way my mom, she came out of the ventilator. She received the treatment. The body was already so, the cells were also charged. Like I tell people, it's like your mobile being charged, and that's why it runs well. And it's receiving the signals well when there is good signal. So same thing was with my mother, because she was earthing so much, and I saw to that she had those the K1 points at home before she was admitted to the hospital. So around like 6 hours she had of the patches on the K1 point. So that gave like a storage, the cells had those electrons to not let the body collapse, the organs collapse. And secondly, it received all the medicines well, the treatment which was given in the ICU, and she came out of that. And they were all shocked. The condition in which she was admitted, just 15% of her heart functioning, they were like, she has only 48 hours. And that's when she came out of that. And the next 48 hours were crucial, whether she'll be able to sustain without the ventilator. She was all good. And that's what made me believe, yes, it's so important that you keep earthing continuously so that your body is prevented from getting that collateral damage. Then in the room, all the doctors, they came slowly. They were not asking directly, but there was this orthopedic surgeon who had removed my mom's infected knee transplant in 2020. And he was the one who had attended my first Zoom meeting with Devdan Foundation in 2021, August, 8th August, which I had conducted. And he had said, good, so he was aware of earthing. So finally he came on the last day and he asked, he says, isn't this going to, is it safe, and how safe is it? So I explained him, I shared with him all the links. And finally he said, yes, I will try to do a study of patients who are having chronic pain first, and I will publish a paper regarding this. I was like, wow, the seed has been sown, and that's what I want, the doctors, in this country to come forward. And I'm waiting for this doctor to, once he publishes it, then I will reveal his name. So, and even the name of the hospital. So basically, I want doctors to come forward and understand the science behind earthing and how it is not a treatment like Clint Ober says. It is meant to be connected. It is natural, something which you are meant to be connected with the earth. And my parents have come out of it. I have brought them back to Pune with me out here now to stay, because it's not safe for them to stay alone in Mumbai. And they're doing well. I'm continuously earthing, putting the ground patches. They're sleeping on the sleep mat. They are, doing the rest of the things, whatever is required. And the recovery is good, the recovery is good. Yes, the medicines were given, the treatment was given, A-class treatment from the hospital, everything, but the receptivity of the body for all that treatment was enhanced because of earthing, and they could come out of it, So please, it's like a humble request to all of you to, if there is somebody who is watching this video, I mean, we would really like We already have the Indian grounding mat which is there, but the ground patches are the instant, what we call the magic patches, as per Getai Chevalier and Clint Ober and his entire team, late Dr. Sinatra and James Washman and Mark Zucker, and all of them who have worked so relentlessly to spread this awareness. And I want in India for the medical fraternity to please look into this, conduct your own study groups, and if somebody is listening, let's get the earthing products into India, especially these cords and the ground patches we are getting here on the Amazon. But it has saved my parents' life, and this is why I'm making a video today, is that they wouldn't have come out of it, they wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for Clint Ober and his earthing products. So, and most important was, I also carried the universal mat to the hospital, and I used to sit whenever I was there throughout the day. I used to earth myself so that I was much more calm, and it really helped me to stay calm and composed because I was single-handedly handling them. And moreover, it gave me a lot of clarity. It did not give me many panic attacks or made me feel depressed, to that extent, to the trauma which I saw, what my parents, it was really actually very traumatic. But yes, earthing definitely helped me to be afloat and live in the moment. And this is what I want to share. So please, whoever is listening in India, big companies or startups who wish to bring these products, I can help and support and guide you with everything that is required, because the magic patches, that's what we call the ground patches, is what actually at the K1 point, because when a patient is in that condition, he cannot put his feet flat on the universal mat or the Indian grounding mat. We have to basically connect at that K1 point, because that is the point where it activates supplies the electrons to all the vital organs, that is your brain, your heart, your lungs, your kidney, your digestive system. All this, it gives the electrons to these vital organs, and so there is no collateral damage. So, and the pain, yes, it subsides. In fact, her x-rays were clear, and I had put the patches on her pain area also, which subsided, the whole thing. So it's a combination of everything. So, well, take care, and think about it. All those who are listening in India, go for earthing. And yes, nothing like outdoors also. Go barefoot, walk on the grass, and though it's monsoons, yes, be cautious that you don't slip and fall, but just sit on the bench, touch your feet on that wet mud. And that's what I did in Bombay. Whenever I just had a day or two in the morning, even if it was for 15 minutes, it really gave me a very relaxing feeling, and felt rejuvenated and energized to go through the whole day at the hospital. So take care, and again, a kind of a shout out or an appeal to all the Indians, especially. Thank you.